Hi, I'm Amanda, resident cat behaviorist at cats.com, and if you've previously watched my course and I've tugged at your heartstrings to adopt a shelter cat, then this is the next transitional video course for you, because this is how do you, now you've got that fabulous new shelter cat, how do you transition them comfortably and safely and calmly into your home. So in this course, we're going to walk you through an easy transition, how to set your home up for success, and that you can build trust right from day one. The first thing is to set your dedicated safe space up. This could be a spare room or an office, somewhere that no one's going to be going in unless it's just to check on the cat. In this safe space, you're going to want everything that they're going to need for all their welfare needs. So you're going to want running water, maybe a water fountain, a food bowl away from the water, maybe some toys, but not too much because you don't want to overwhelm them. 2 litter trays, because a cat needs 1 litter tray plus 1 extra, but put these at opposite ends of the room. Don't put them in a line. This gives the cat a chance to decide where it wants to use the litter. And obviously don't put them near food or water. They're going to want a bed and a scratching pole. And it would be a great idea if you could get some boxes for the cats to hide in. And of course, comfortable, safe, snuggly places for them to rest. This creates a small world for them where they can start to decompress and feel safe and get to know their environment. Cats generally want to feel relaxed in an environment and safe before they start exploring. Now the cat's in the decompression room, we need to give them time. This could be anything from 1 day to a week. Just keep popping in every hour or so, checking that they're okay. Does their litter need changing? Do they need food topping up? This just establishes a routine that the cat then becomes familiar with your smell. The cat will understand that you're not any danger to it and you're actually bringing them resources. So allow your cat to settle and do everything on their terms. Be cat-led. No good just trying to cuddle them and pick them up straight away, because some cats don't even like being cuddled or picked up. So don't assume that they will. You just have to do everything on their terms. It's really good every time that you go into them, offer them the finger like this. Can you see how Hugo's just nuzzled there? That's a greeting. So if your cat does that, you know that you're really starting to build a communication and a trust. And then you can go on to give them a lovely little chin scratch like I'm doing here. Just aim for the head area first. Don't go too far down the back, because there may be parts of their body that they don't like being touched. What you can expect is that they're likely to be hiding for a few days. Depends how confident they are. They may have a reduced appetite. If that's the case, then try warming the food up a little bit if they've been already on wet food, and see if you can tempt them that way. Just pop the food in the room and then go out and leave them. If you can leave a radio on, that would be really soothing for them, and also a night light, because cats can't see in complete darkness, so they have reduced visibility. So this again is going to help them feel a little bit safer. In these early days, some cats may excessively vocalise because they're stressed, whereas others could become completely silent. The main thing is, when you go into the room, be consistent in your routine. Use very slow body movements and soft speech, soft volume, and slow movements build trust. Another great idea is introduce yourself slowly. You don't have to go in and just do the whole play routine. Go in there, sit down. Don't do anything, just read a book, maybe just observe what they're doing. Try not to have hard eye contact with them. If you do have eye contact, then make sure you blink slowly, because as I've said before, that's the kitty equivalent of a smile. It's non-threatening, and that's what cats used from cat to cat communication to establish that they're friend, not foe. So imagine you're just sitting in the room quietly reading a book. The cat may come up to you, in which case that is the pure definition of being cat-led. And at that point, that's when you can hold out your hand and let the cat and invite the cat to interact with you. And of course, slow blinking and treats work wonders. You don't have to feed the treat by hand. You could even just drop it on the floor, and it may be that the cat will only come so far up to you And if it does, then fine, don't make it come even closer. Put the treat at a level where the cat is going to feel comfortable, and definitely avoid picking them up. I've mentioned that before. This can break fragile trust, especially in the early stages. Hopefully you've done your homework and you've found out from the shelter staff that the cat does or doesn't like being picked up. What is their boundaries? Where do they like being touched, and so on? So you'll have a heads up where to avoid touching the cat in these early days. But I definitely just recommend going for the face and the head area and build up from there to what the cat is comfortable with. So let them choose the proximity and their comfort area around you rather than you choosing. If people want to come to the home, if you have visitors to the home that want to see the new cat, I'd really advise against this in the early days. I think you just have to work on your relationship with that cat rather than then introducing them to everybody. They can have that introduction when they're really settled in the home, and this goes for young children as well. If you've just bought a cat home and the cat is just not confident as it was in the shelter, then I'd keep everything to a minimum, and maybe if you have got young children, just encourage them very quietly after a couple of days to go into the room and offer the cat some treats, or maybe put their food down and then leave the room quietly. And this would be the same with other pets in the home as well. If you've got a dog or another cat, then you want to do scent swapping, and this would be started as soon as the cat is settled in the decompression room. You can then start swapping scent blankets over from the dog or the other cat and vice versa, but definitely no visual meetings or interactions at this early stage. I mentioned having a few toys in the room. It would be a really good idea if you had a wand or something that you could keep the cat at distance so the cat didn't have to come close to you, and you could just flick the wand about to emulate prey, and that might just tap into that predatory drive and might switch them on a little bit and help them start to relax. And in the decompression room, think about popping little puzzle feeders like this in so that the cat can actually interact with these and forage a little bit. And whilst the cat's foraging, it'll take its mind off the stress that it's feeling in that particular moment. And it keeps the cat busy if they're actually foraging and working for their food. Takes the mind off what's stressing them. So looking at your routine and how predictable you must be for your cat, because cats thrive on routine and the predictability of what's going to happen next. It makes them feel safe. So if you start feeding at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning, then carry on feeding at those times, because then the cat will start to anticipate what's going to happen. And when it's rewarded with that anticipation that they were right, they'll start to feel safe and secure. In regards to food, don't make any switches too soon. If you want to change the diet, do it over 5 to 7 days so it doesn't give them any gastric upset. If you can, use familiar toys or maybe a bed that you've actually bought back from the shelter environment, because that's going to help them settle too. And a great tip is bring their litter from their shelter housing. I know this probably sounds a really random thing to ask, but if you bring the bag of the cat litter, the substrate that they've been using, it's going to have their familiar smell on it, and then you can put that straight into one of the litter trays that you've got in the decompression room, and they'll have their familiar scent on that already. And again, that's just a heads up that it's okay, it's familiar. That's really going to help them. And then in the other litter tray, you can have the substrate of your choice if you're going to switch. You can then start to hybridize them a little bit, cross-scenting both litters until then eventually they're on the litter that you want them to be on. Doing it this way just helps them not have any litter aversion, because cats are naturally suspicious. So if it doesn't seem like that's the litter that they've been using straight away, they may not take to it. And what you don't want is for them to start soiling in the home because of that. So stick to those calm and quiet interactions for the first couple of weeks and bring the visitors to meet them later on. And if you are bringing visitors into the home, allow the cat to go and hide if it wants to. They have to be able to hide, because you're just going to make more stress on them and they're already going to be vulnerable. Bringing a shelter cat into your home can take anywhere up to 6 months for them to fully decompress and actually feel that yes, this is their home. They know their routine. So it's a good idea to expand their environment slowly. So instead of just opening the whole house up to them and let them explore, it's a good idea to open up one room at a time. So when you feel that they're really settled in their decompression room, open the door and maybe then let them have access into the hallway or the landing with all the other doors then shut. You could use pheromone plugins as well. Synthetic pheromone plugins work really well, and alongside this a phytotherapy plug, something like a cat attractant that the cats will actually feel happy and it will actually relax them. So I'd avoid catnip in these early stages because that's a stimulant and it could exacerbate any stress that they're feeling, particularly if you're going to be having a multi-cat home. So always give your cat an escape route. So if you bring them out of the decompression room, make sure the door's open so they can run back there if they're feeling threatened or unsafe. And then over the coming days, you can start to open up the rooms room by room, and maybe a synthetic pheromone plug-in in the new rooms that you're actually going to invite the cat to. Only do this when you're quite happy that they're using the litter tray comfortably, and then if the door's open they can always go back to where the litter tray is because they'll know where it is. Cats have a scent map, so as they walk on the carpet or the floor they're going to be leaving natural pheromones on the floor, so they'll start to know where their safe place is. In the other rooms that you're going to be inviting them into, what a great idea to have a vertical wall structure or a cat tree that they can go into and they can sit on there and feel relaxed. Cats often feel much more secure and relaxed if they're up high because they are prey too. So if they can see what's going on around them and they can watch it all from a high vantage point, they can see if anything's coming to get them. So my final tips for your new shelter cat. Think of the first few weeks as a gentle onboarding process. Don't rush everything, be cat-led and do it in the time that the cat needs it to be done in. Every cat is different, so some cats will adapt in hours, whereas others can take weeks. And if you're thinking of having your cat as a free roaming cat, make sure they stay inside for at least 4 to 6 weeks so that they know this is their new home and they won't be tempted to try and look for where used to be home. Patience, consistency and routine are the building blocks of your new bond.